from Sandler Training, from Capstone Training, right? That's right. Which is a Sandler Training organization here locally. We've got a group of people from that organization here, but then we've got David Gross, who's going to be really diving in. And I know I told you guys to wear your dancing shoes, so I hope all of you guys got the memo. He's going to be teaching us about the buyer-seller dance. So I guess he's going to be making us all get up and shimmy a little bit. But I think it's more about learning the skills that you need to get some deals done. And I know that as entrepreneurs, professionals, leaders, all of us could definitely use that value and could definitely always be improving in that skill set. So really excited to have David come up here and speak to you guys today. Definitely turn on your listening ears. If you've got pen and paper, have it out. Take notes on your phone. Let's make this a worthwhile lunch today. David Gross, everybody. I'd like to start by telling you a little bit about Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss, this is a book called Green Eggs and Ham. This is about a third of the book. He says, could you, in a car, eat them, here they are. He says, I would not, could not in a car. I would not, could not in the rain. I would not on a train. I would not eat them in the dark. I would not eat them in the park. I would not eat them with a goat. I will not eat them with a boat. I will not eat them in a house. I will not eat them with a mouse. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. And you're probably wondering, my goodness, what does this have to do with sales? What does this have to do with sales? What does it have to do with the talk I'm going to do today? But what it has to do with sales is I have a little son. He's about this big. His name's Henry. And I've been taking Henry to daycare every single day for the last month. And in our van, I drive a van, by the way. In our van, we have a movie player, and he watches Sam I Am. And the disc has 3 options for 3 different movies. It's a jam-packed device. But the problem is, the movie is behind me, and I have the remote. How do I know when he says, Daddy, I'd like to watch This Nietzsche's today? Or Daddy, I'd like to watch Sam I Am, or Green Eggs and Ham. I need to have a system. So he tells me the movie, and in my mind I say, okay, I know where the menu is, and I scroll down, and this is the one. I've done it so many times it becomes second nature. How often do we approach sales without a system, without a process? Sometimes we go about sales. We go about growing our business. And it's pretty common to wing it, to just go with the flow. But without structure or a process behind it, or with the process behind it, we could increase up to 100% effectiveness. What I want you to do is help me build a list. And on this list, I want to talk about common roadblocks. So what holds you back? If you could fill in the question or answer the question with me, I could sell more if this were the case. Sometimes we hear, if I had more first-time appointments, or I could sell more if my prospects didn't tell me they needed to think it over forever. What else? Mark. You could sell more if what?
Had more time.
Had more time. That's a good one. So time is a big one. We hear that oftentimes. Alyssa. Resources such as? Employees, more bodies. Noah? Okay. More resources. Miranda, what about you? More money. Okay. And we need more money. We need to sell more to get more money. Nancy? Okay, we'll put 2 checks behind that one. Ron? I could sell more if what?
It's more knowledge.
Knowledge. If I had more knowledge. Major?
Experience.
What about leads? I could sell more if I had more leads traded. I'd take that one from you? Yeah. If I had more leads. Also, I write fast and I talk faster. If you miss something, let me know. Okay? I'd like to show you the buyer-seller dance. We hear things like this all the time. Common challenges such as I need more leads, I need more appointments, I need more money, I need to sell more, I need to get in front of more people. This is very common. So let's talk about how we sell. I talked about systems and I talked about a selling process. When you go to market today and you meet, let's pretend that you meet with someone. Someone comes into your office or you meet someone at a mutual location and your objective is to get a new customer. What's the first thing that we do? Say it again. Get to know them. Yes. So we're going to ask them some questions. Right? What was your name? Cooper. Yeah, we're going to ask them some questions. We're going to get to know them. Perhaps we should qualify a little bit. Fair? Okay, so we're qualifying. Okay, so we qualify, we get to know them, we ask them questions about their business, what are they trying to achieve, and then what do we do? Adelia, what do we do after that? Okay, yeah, we figure out some pain points, ask them some questions. What else? What's the next step?
Listen.
We listen, absolutely. Part of asking questions is listening. Thank you, Kim. What else?
Provide a solution.
Providing a solution. Some people provide a solution. Some people provide quotes, proposals. Anyone write quotes or proposals? Yes? Okay. So we quote or propose. After we write the quote or the proposal, what happens next? Come on, this is an easy one.
Plan.
Say it again.
We plan.
We plan.
Negotiate.
We negotiate. What about we close? Let's close the deal. We close. Right? So we'll close. No one ever says close, by the way. We close, and sometimes we get what? So we ask for the sale. We get yeses. Yep. We get yeses. We get what else? No's. But what do we hear most of the time? Let me think about it. We call that a TIO. Okay? We get way more TIOs than no's. Why is that? Why don't we get so many no's or more no's than we need to? Why do people say that they need to think about it?
It's more uncomfortable for people to say no than it is.
It's more uncomfortable, right? And we're in the South. Maybe that's it too. I'm not sure. But we often hear no's, or we often hear think it overs. When we get to think it over, what do we do then?
Ask them when we can follow up.
Ask them when we could follow up. Right. Cooper, that's absolutely correct. Follow up. And what does following up sound like? Sending some emails, maybe giving you a call. See, what happens is while we're doing this is a common process, or this is a common way of sales today. We qualify, we ask good questions, we quote, we give a presentation, we try to close. They tell us, think about it. Thanks for your time. This is where they're most interested. They're most positive. Let me think about it. Appreciate your time. Thank you for everything you've done for us today. Get back with me. And we follow up. But on the other side of the fence, right, we call this the buyer-seller dance. On the buyer, this is happening, or on the seller, this is happening. On the buyer standpoint, this is what's going on. And this is what you could take away today. This is what you could take away today and have some insight to what's common in sales. Common in sales today as we know it is we do a lot of work to try to get business. We do a lot of work, we do a lot of prospecting, we have a lot of conversations, but the effectiveness of that could be better, much like the exercise today. If you had some guidelines, how more effective could you be? So our buyers are coming up and they're telling us things like, well, tell me a little more about what you can do for me. What do you have? and they hold their cards close to their vest. Why do they hold their cards close to their vest? Why don't they tell us how much money they have, what their budget is, what exactly they're looking for, when are they going to make the decision? There's no trust there. Why isn't there any trust there commonly?
There's no established relationship.
Established relationship, and typically in sales we don't have time to establish a good relationship, to know somebody for years at a time. So the trust is not there. So they hold their cards close. Why do they do that? They're embarrassed. People love to buy. You may want to write this down. People love to buy but hate to be what? Sold. People love to buy but hate to be sold. So they mislead us. They mislead us. They tell us things like, well, we're just looking right now. We're just putting our foot in the water, kind of getting a good understanding of what we're going to do in the future. Why don't you tell us a little more about what you have? They don't tell us that they're getting the 3 quotes. They're not going to tell us that they're going to shop around. They're going to be very positive at this point. And once we get the quote and the proposal, or once they have it in their hands, once they know all about our product and what we could do for them, what do they do with that? They try and get a better quote. Right? They take that information. Some say steal. They steal that information. They say, hey, thanks for all this. Let's think about it. And then they go back behind the scenes, Nancy, and they do what? They compare because they want a better price. Fairly common. When we do give the proposal, we try to close them. They take that information, and then what do they do then? You say, hey, are you ready to buy? Or Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, thank you so much. We give them some options, and then what do we hear after that? 2 words. Stalls and objections. You guys know what stalls and objections are? Commonly in sales, we teach people how to combat and overcome stalls and objections. Everyone heard that before? What are some common stalls and objections that you guys get? I have to check with my partner. Yeah. What about you all?
I have to save the money up.
I have to save the money up. Okay. What else? Andrew, what do you get?
Probably, let's see. Oh yeah, I gotta get a good night's sleep.
Got to sleep on it. Yeah, I got to get a good night's sleep. Cooper.
Busy, don't have enough time to do something like this.
Busy, don't have enough time. We take those things. We may trade some negotiation, try to handle those stalls and objections, but commonly, what do they do after they stall and object? The witness protection program. They're gone. They are gone. They hide. These are the people that we have. They have them on the list. We have possibles. We go to our managers. We go to go back to the books, and these are the people that we have on our prospect list that may eventually do business with us one day. We call, we follow up, we email, and we get what? Crickets. Does this work? Absolutely, it works. You wouldn't be in business if this system didn't work. Could it be better? Perhaps. This is the buyer-seller dance. This is the unspoken interaction which we have between someone trying to get another client and someone resisting and using their system. Your buyers are getting very smart. They have gotten very smart because this has been implemented over the years. So people know what to listen for. They know about how we're going to close them. They're always skeptical about when they're going to try to close me. We do it too. When's the last time that you went to that you bought something? Right? We follow this thing too. Right? We follow the buyer-seller dance. I'm a buyer. What can we do about it? There's a couple of things in your folder there. The graphic. One person has this, If you could just hold it up and show it to your team. There's a lot of steps. I can't teach you how to sell in a few more minutes. This is not possible. But what is possible is I could teach you the principle of why people buy. Why people make decisions in the first place. We're going to skip to step number 3, and that's labeled pain in the Sandler selling system. We've already gone over bonding rapport, upfront contract, but we're going right to pain. And this is why people make decisions. And again, I'm talking really fast here, so write this down and stay with me. People make a decision. Human beings make decisions to do 2 things. Either to gain pleasure or to avoid pain. People make decisions emotionally and justify those decisions intellectually. So why people would change, why someone would choose you is not because the greatness of your product, is because deep down internally, what do they really want? Too often we show up and we know, we have the knowledge about what we do. So we show up and we throw up. We vomit all over these people. Features and benefits. Let me tell you why we're good. Let me tell you why we're great. Let me tell you what I'm going to do for you. That makes it all about who? Me. Right. Sales is all about them. So how do we be more about them? How do we find those things out? I told you before, people make decisions emotionally and justify intellectually. Think about this. There's a gap between where someone is, this is a smiley face, and where they want to be. We need to figure that out. How do we get them from here to here? Do you know what bridges that gap? You, your product, your service. Someone comes to you and tells you that they have a problem or they need what you do. They have an emotional reason to make a change. We need to figure that out. How do we figure that out? We figure that out by, Kim, you said it earlier. We figure it out by listening, by making it about the other person. I want you to follow a rule. 70% of the time, you listen. 30% of the time, we do what? Speak. Okay? Think about that. In an hour meeting, what is 70% of that hour? That's a long time. Take advantage of silence. Use that as your friend. What else? We ask questions. We ask questions to find out why they would even make a change in the first place. What pleasure are they seeking, or what pain are they avoiding? We as humans, we try to find somewhere that we want to go. Maybe it's somebody that needs to buy insurance. Why would we buy insurance? Because I'm avoiding a painful future. Right? Why would someone need swimming pools? Why would someone need a swimming pool? We're seeking a pleasurable experience. I'm not buying the swimming pool because I think what you have is fantastic and I just want a pool in my backyard. I want to jump in, I want to fully immerse myself, and I want to have parties. That's about me at that point. If I show up and throw up all my features and benefits, we've killed the sale. So listen, ask probing questions, good questions, about why they would make a change in the first place. How would their life be different if they were to make the change? This is a great concept. Also, does anyone know what this means? ABC? Let's change that. Glengarry Glen Ross, coffee is for closers, always be closing. It's always be curious. Always be curious about the other person. Make it about them and not about you. Because the moment you make it about you, you've lost. Can everyone agree with that? Perfect. You could use this, and we were going to do 30-second commercials, but we started a little late, and it's okay. Whenever you describe your business to someone, I want you to think about this. When you describe what you do, what do we typically say? We commonly say, well, this is what I do. This is the company that I work with. We've been in business for this long. This is about us. How can we reframe that and spark a little bit of curiosity? So for me, if I were to talk about me, I'd say, hey, I'm David Gross. I work with a company called Sandler Training. We do sales consulting. We do sales management consulting. We do leadership coaching, development. We do customer service training. And I'm getting what we call it, the Krispy Kreme look, glazed over. But if I were to talk about why people would really buy instead of what I do, my name is David. I do some training and some consulting, and we help people that are actively trying to grow. They've got a passion for what they do, but they're commonly running into roadblocks such as sales. Common sales challenges where there's not enough appointments on the book. The people they do get in front of, they have trouble closing, and sales tends to go on and on and on with a lot of confusion. They know they can do better, but they don't know what that better is. What were those two different messages? They're about the same thing, but they're crafted in a different way. So the next time you talk to somebody, talk to them about what you do and how you help them versus the features of your product or your service. All right? And I have to wrap up. I appreciate you sticking with me. This is what we're going to do. What I'd like for you to do is, there's a lot of networking events that you could have gone to. There's a lot of places you could have gone to and connected with a lot of people, but I appreciate you coming in and investing your time and attention here. I'm going to offer you a challenge. I'm going to propose a challenge. You could take it if you want. What I want you to do is I want you to connect with one person before you leave this room, because I want the value that you put into this to be multiplied by 100. Get somebody on the calendar. Reach out to someone, set up a conversation, set up some coffee, and really talk about how we can help each other. Is that fair? Can everyone do that? Have a definite next step with someone in this room. And also, there's a lot that we could have covered. And usually what we do in sales, we do for months and years at a time on an ongoing weekly basis. I'm going to have a private webinar, and I'll put this on the Gravity website. I'll have a private webinar on step number 1, that's bonding and rapport. One of the easiest steps to know, something that you could walk away with and have some specific action items, and that'll be to follow.